Well, it's snowing again. Not very happy about this. It's been a weird forecast for this snow, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it is currently snowing pretty heavily here in Reisterstown. My name is Dylan. This is my YouTube show I've been doing for close to 13 years now. This is episode 647, Animals Are Us. I usually do it Saturday nights at 11 p.m., but I was watching my LA Fever Dream movie trilogy because my wife was camping and my son was at a lock-in. So here we are, and it is February 22nd, Sunday, February 22nd at 5:46 p.m., a rare sort of midday showing of Dylan knows, but you wouldn't know it's midday because if you look outside, it's going to be dark and snowy. Because I knew the snow was coming, I went and got my snowberry drink again. So we'll continue on with this. Lots of animal stories. Olympics, yawn. McKenna Grace, hate, which should not be there. Mardi Gras. Fire horse. Solar eclipses. Ash Wednesday, Lent, all kinds of crazy stuff happening this week. Had to get our car fixed. My daughter was at a gala, so all kinds of crazy stuff going on here this week. Lots of trailers, lots of animal stories, some comic book news. I can't even get away from yawning. I always yawn during my shows. I figure at 5:46, now 5:47 p.m. on a Sunday evening, I wouldn't be yawning, but here we are. Pissed right now with the snow coming down. There's a fucking asshole parked behind us, and he's going to be there for a while because his wiper blades are up. So that's going to be fun if we get the 5 to 10 inches we're supposed to get. I guess we'll talk about now. The snow is said to be blizzard-esque quality with the winds picking up this evening. The majority of the snow will be falling overnight tonight. Could cause problems tomorrow morning for people getting into work and school, which means school will probably be closed, but will be a 2-hour Zoom call sort of online learning thing, which they've done since Baltimore County's out of its snow days. I'm so sick of snow. I'm done with snow. I am fine not seeing snow ever again. We had a good run there where we were barely getting any snow, and then all of a sudden we get hit with all this bullshit. And general snow in itself is fine, but we're still reeling from the January storm that still has snow lingering here now almost a month later. So all kinds of stupid stuff going on. So it's just another wonderful time here in 2026 America. I don't know how to keep going. Major deaths this week as well. The return of a lot of older actors who haven't done anything in a long time, coming back into movies, stuff like that. So we have these things pop up periodically. Start off on my papers and continue on my notebook. So here we are. My wife is asleep right now. My kitty's asleep. My daughter's celebrating her anniversary with her boyfriend, and my son is probably playing video games. So now I'm doing this. All right, here we go. Was on Threads, where a big storyline about Panchi the monkey, or they call him Punch. He is an abandoned monkey by his mother, raised at by humans at a zoo, and in order to help him acclimate, they bought him a big giant stuffed orangutan action plushie that Panchi carries around all the time and loves. They tried to introduce him into the monkey enclosure at the zoo, and at first the other monkeys were rejecting him So lots of sad pictures of him cuddling his stuffed toy and being sad, stuff like that. But then periodically things started working out for him. An older monkey came and started grooming him and loving him, giving him hugs. He started playing more with other monkeys. Then he went viral again a couple days later when one of the big monkeys threw him to the ground and was chasing him, and he ran away and ran back to the arms of his stuffed toy. But the zoo itself said this is actually normal behavior for the monkeys because Panchi was doing something he wasn't supposed to, and they had to teach him a lesson. So people were losing their minds about that. So he's been accepted now. But it is a constant updating on Threads all the time. He is a Threads celebrity, and I'm just running a quick, screw through, Threads, and there's somebody right there talking about Panchi. So just barely, and there's another Panchi, and there's another Panchi, and there's another Panchi, and there's another Panchi. So there's lots of Panchis in here. This is Panchi right there. Oh, yeah. There you go. There he is. Can't really see him, but go to Threads. You'll see him. He is very well loved now, so it's all good now. So we had that story, and that's still an ongoing storyline. So that one's going to be ongoing for a while. We also had Nazgul, the Wolfdog, that joined a cross-country ski competition during the Olympics and crossed the finish line. And there was, whenever anybody crosses the finish line, it's a photo finish. So there's photos of Nazgul crossing the finish line. So a lot of people were loving on that as well. A Michigan police officer lets people pay their traffic tickets with cat food to help shelter cats. That's a good thing for him to do as well. A shark was discovered for the first time in the Antarctic Ocean. So now sharks are in every ocean. UPS driver was attacked by turkeys while trying to do his deliveries. Wild turkeys. He was trying to do his deliveries, so that was kind of interesting. That's all the animal pictures on this page, stores on this page. We have a whole bunch of other ones as well. So we'll have more animal stuff, hence the name Animals Are Us episode. So what happened this week? So this week alone, we had Mardi Gras, Ash Wednesday, Lent started, Ramadan started, Chinese New Year, the year of the fire horse, which is the first time in 60 years we've had the fire horse. The Ring of Fire eclipse that was only available, you could only see in Antarctica, and there were lots of pictures of the eclipse in Antarctica. Our van had to go into the shop for about 3 days to get fixed, new brakes, new thermostat, and there was oil leaking in the engine as well. So we all got fixed, dropped $25.50 on that, which was for us. And I had to pick up my wife about 3 days during the week at work, but we got everything done and taken care of right before she went on her camping trip. And then my son had his lock-in with his scout troop last night into today. My wife has her lock-in with her troop next weekend. The Blue and Gold dinner is next weekend, which is for the Cubs. And my daughter and I are going to go see Back to the Future, the musical. So that'll be fun. That's going to be a matinee, so I should probably still be able to do a Saturday evening episode of Dylan Knows next week, which will be getting us close to the end of February, actually, which is very interesting. Actually, it is the last day of February 28th. So that's interesting. So we're almost done February now. And my daughter had a charity gala she went to this weekend. So don't know what that was all about, but she took one of her mom's dresses and wore it, and we've seen some pictures on Instagram. So that's kind of cool. So that's all the crazy stuff that happened this week around in the world. The week started, Valentine's Day was last Saturday, and Maya Hawke, Ethan and Uma's daughter, and one of the stars of Stranger Things, had a surprise wedding on St. Valentine's Day with her longtime boyfriend. Both her parents and members of the Stranger Things cast got together to celebrate with Maya. So congratulations to Maya and her now husband. McKenna Grace has been cast as Daphne in the Scooby-Doo live action show on Netflix from Greg Berlanti. Now I got to talk about this a little bit later. I love McKenna Grace. She has done her time in the trenches. She's a child actress who, whenever a main actress needed a young version of themselves to do a flashback, McKenna Grace was usually the one who did it. She was in the Sabrina show on Netflix. She was in Captain Marvel. She did was the young Tanya Harding in I, Tanya. She also was I just had it was the young version of one of the characters in the house, The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix also. And then she's spread her wings a little bit into other movies. She did a movie called Gifted with Chris Evans, where she played a hugely intelligent young child who was being raised by her uncle after her mother passed away. And I think one of the in-laws or something like that was trying to get access to her also. So that was kind of a little bit rough there. She really came on my radar. Obviously, I knew her from The Haunting of Hill House and her younger version of stuff, but it didn't really affect me as much. So she got one of her major lead roles in Ghostbusters Afterlife, where she played Egon Spengler's granddaughter, was the main focus of Afterlife and was the main focus of Frozen Empire for the most part also. So it was good to see her doing that as well. She has been dating an actor, and they've been together for a while now. He's the actor who does live action version of How to Train Your Dragon. They just did a rom-com together called Regretting You, which didn't get a lot of, it was more romantic drama, I guess, didn't get a lot of good press. And she's she's going to be mentioned again later on in the show. And now she's cast as Daphne in the live action Scooby-Doo series. And she, much like Tom Holland has before, she pretty much projected it years ago when she dressed up as Daphne, years before there was even talk of a live action series. And she actually also got the approval that, not she needed it, but she got the approval from Sarah Michelle Gellar, who played the live action version of Daphne in the Scooby-Doo movies. Sarah was absolutely delighted that McKenna was taking on the role. And I have my kitty who's about ready to jump up and visit me. Come on, Pep. Welcome to the world. But I'm bringing this all up is because all of a sudden there is all this rampant hate towards McKenna Grace on the internet, which is not unusual anymore because the internet is pretty bad when it comes to, people being anonymous, talking shit about people that they would never say stuff like that to them, to their faces. Your claws are digging into me. Hi, Peps. So this came up too because there were the people who were screaming that Sadie Sink should have been Daphne. First of all, how do you know if Sadie Sink really wanted to play Daphne? Maybe she didn't want to get tied down to another TV series, just because you wanted Sadie Sink as Daphne and you didn't get it doesn't mean that, you have to hate on the actress who gets it. Because again, how do you know Sadie Sink said, I don't want to do it? Or maybe she wasn't even interested. Maybe she didn't even audition for it because she didn't care, because she probably maybe wants to start trying to do something different with her career. I mean, she's now part of the Marvel Universe, which could become, depending on whatever her mystery character is, could become a major role in the future potentially. And then she's gonna want to do her own stuff. I mean, she's done more drama movies than she has TV series. So just get over yourselves. McKenna Grace has done her time in the trenches. She's a more seasoned actor than most people out there right now because she has been doing it, being a child star. There are still child stars out there, believe it or not. Not as prevalent as they were probably in the 80s, successful ones, but McKenna is on her way to doing that. And, she's signed on to doing a bunch of different things. She's going to be in the new Scream movie also. So she's in a new Scream movie. She's done, she was in the young, the Big Bad Theory spinoff, Young, whatever this character's name, I can't remember it. Young Sheldon. She was in Young Sheldon. She had a semi-regular. She did her time in the trenches, and she absolutely deserves to be in this role. You can make your decision. You actually see what she does with the role, But right now, just because you don't like her and the person you wanted to get in there isn't in there, doesn't give you the right to go in and absolutely destroy everything about her. As I said, I will keep saying it. She's done her time in the trenches. She's been an actor for probably she's got to be been an actor for close to probably 20 some years now, and she's only like 24 years old. So get over yourselves. And oh my God, we're going to see her all the time. Yeah, guess what? You're also going to see Anne Hathaway all the time this year, also. And then you didn't see her for a couple of years. You know, are you going to complain about that? Well, yeah, probably, because you guys are a bunch of fucking morons. Get over yourselves. I like Sadie Sink as the next person, but again, how do you fucking know she auditioned for it or wanted to play the role? I bet you $1 million she had no desire to play Daphne in a Scooby-Doo live action series. I will bet you $1 million that Sadie Sink had no desire to do that. So you cannot force somebody to do something you want them to do. That's why we're in the shithole we are in right now. So get off your fucking high horse, get off your fucking computer, and start interacting with real people, you stupid fuck. I do this show, yes, but I also interact with people all the time. And I don't go anonymously on. I'm doing this face to face. You see my fucking face, and I'm calling your dumb shit asses out. This is what you're supposed to do. You don't hide behind a fucking avatar. McKenna Grace is a veteran. She's done her time in the trenches. She's not going anywhere. She's entering the beginning of the rising of her career. She's had a slew of early roles as a child actor, and now she's blossoming into a more leading actress now. She's still doing supporting roles. The role in Scream is a supporting role. She's not the main role. That's Neve Campbell and her daughter. Get over yourselves. And for you Sadie Sink lovers, as I said, I love Sadie. I have nothing against Sadie. She's going to be in Spider-Man coming out in July. You'll get your Sadie Sink stuff there. And as I said, how do you know she wanted to do it? Just because you saw her in the role doesn't mean she wanted to fucking do it. As I said before, I guarantee you, I will bet you $1 million she had no fucking desire to do it, because she's already done a show and she wants to spread her wings a little bit. She's doing a different take than McKenna Grace. McKenna is sticking within the pop culture. She's in Five Nights at Freddy's also. Yes, I know. So she's been staying within the pop culture range because that's what she likes to do. That's what she likes to do. She's a person. She's an actress. This is what she likes to do. I guarantee you, I will bet you $1 million that Sadie Sink did not even audition for Daphne because she did not want to do it. She wants to spread her wings. And that's also the people who are trying to fan cast her and Caleb McLaughlin as Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. I mean, I'm sure Caleb probably would like to do Miles. I mean, it's a great role and he'd be fantastic in it. But you can't force someone to do something they want to. I don't think Sadie Sink would want to do it because she's already doing this other role in Spider-Man. Unless she's playing Gwenpool, which I highly doubt she is. Or Ghost Gwen or Spider Ghost or whatever the hell her name is now. Spider Gwen or Ghost Spider. Come on, dumbass. So enough for rant. We'll hear more about McKenna later on in the show. Oh my God, I can't believe we do this back to back. Speaking of morons on the internet, the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer finally came out, the official one. The teaser trailer they had the Super Bowl pissed off a lot of people. It's like, we didn't see anything. Well, duh. They didn't want to do a regular, they wanted to tease it. And then they released the trailer after the Super Bowl this week. They released it. And you know what? It looks like a fun fucking movie. And yes, you get to see Pedro, because why else would Pedro Pascal does the voice, and he is now a big actor. And if you're making a movie, you're going to want to show your star, even though he's not the Mandalorian when he has the mask on. He's the stuntman. He just does the voiceover for it. Much how like James Earl Jones did Darth Vader. James Earl Jones was not in the Darth Vader suit. That was David Prowse. James Earl Jones just did the voice of it. So, we get the Mandalorian Grogu trailer. It looks like a lot of fun. They're exploring different aspects of the Star Wars world, the Jabba the Hutts. The Hutts are a big part of it as well. It's got space battles, and it's got, Grogu doing some Jedi stuff, and it's got the Mandalorian being held hostage with his helmet off, and we've got bad guys starting. We got Sigourney Weaver popping up, and it looks great. I think it looks great. And then all the people were bitching and whining. Is like, well, his ship was gone at the end of the third season. How did he get his new ship? You can probably get them anywhere. He probably has money saved up to buy it, and he built one himself. I don't know. I don't care. He has one. You don't need to see every goddamn thing. That's what happened with Stranger Things season 5. We got to have a final episode, a secret lost episode, because all of our answers were not answered. That's a fucking bullshit. Who gives a fuck how he got his airplane or his ship? Who cares? He has it. It's what he likes. It's brand new. And who knows? Maybe it's going to be talked about in the fucking movie. This was a fucking trailer. For God's sakes, get out of your ass. Jesus Christ. Comes out May 22nd. It looks really, really good. I think it looks really great. And you get a baby Greedo, which is even funnier too. It's a Greedo species, just like how Grogu is baby Yoda, even though he's not Yoda, IDW is doing a comic adaptation of Godzilla's first appearance, but is making it like a horror story. So the comic book is going to be Godzilla's first appearance, but it's going to be treated as a horror story. And my feed is already starting to get a little wonky here, which sucks ass. Hopefully it'll settle down. I hate this because I got a lot to talk about today, and it better not be this fucking snow, which I'm so already pissed about as it is. There's another one I missed. A World War II rescue dog was discovered in a Swiss glacier frozen with medical supplies. So they found this frozen body of a rescue dog from World War II, still with medical supplies there, frozen solid inside a glacier. And you've seen this before where something's been frozen. They've had frozen humans discovered, frozen mammoths discovered almost completely intact. This dog was as well. That was one of the ones I missed when I was talking my animal beginning part. Justice League Dark, which really isn't a thing anymore, but Funko's always a little bit behind anyway, are doing Justice League Dark Funko Pops. They're doing their first ever Zatanna Funko Pop, a John Constantine one and a Swamp Thing one. They've done the Swamp Thing one before, so this must be a newer version of it. I don't think they've done another Zatanna one, or maybe these are all brand new ones. I don't know. I don't think they've done one. Over Your Dead Body trailer has Jason Segel and Samara Weaving in this horror comedy sort of thing going on here. The BBC Lord of the Flies adaptation will be coming to Netflix. Netflix bought the rights to air it on their show. We get Lee Cronin's The Mummy trailer, which is turning more into a body horror film, set to debut April 17th, 2026. The Backrooms trailer is imminent. Hopefully when it does come out, we will get a date, because right now it is a to be determined date. It hasn't been decided yet. It better fucking be in October. That's all I got to say about that. You know my stance on that horror films will do so much better if they are aired around Halloween. Mina Suvari is set to star as Elizabeth Bathory in horror film Vampires of the Velvet Lounge with Deshaun Lockman, Stephen Dorff, Inclin Ishlin, Tom Berenger, Roses Salazar, and Tyrese Gibson. Set to debut March 20th. Sonic 4 is due to come on March 19th, 2027. And it's later on in the series, but they just hired someone to do the voiceover cast for it. It'll pop up here eventually. Ryan Coogler has started casting his X-Files reboot, so we'll hear more about that eventually, as it were. April 29th, 2026, The House of the Spirits adaptation on Amazon, an 8-episode Spanish language series. There was a movie adaptation of it done already, but now we're getting a TV one. Clarence Macklin joins Reagan Butler, I guess, and Adam Driver in Netflix's film Rabbit. Yeah, I still have trouble reading my handwriting now, too. Anniversaries: Army of Darkness debuted 33 years ago this week. Deaths, here are 3 major deaths right off the bat. First up, the biggest one is Robert Duvall. Actor, was in Godfather, Apocalypse Now, The Conversation, Open Range, Secondhand Lions, The Paper, The Great Santini, Falling Down. I'll give you a list of all those other ones also. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He's, the eminent character actor, lead actor, kind of been in a million things. Worked with a whole bunch of different directors. Biggest one is Tom Hagen in The Godfather. Okay, it was Boo Radley. This is his first role. Boo Radley in the To Kill a Mockingbird adaptation. He was in Countdown, Bullet, True Grit, the original one. MASH, he played Major Frank Burns in the movie adaptation before the TV show did that. Was in THX 1138, which is George Lucas's first film. Was Tom Hagen in The Godfather. Was in The Conversation. Was in Godfather Part 2. Was in The 7% Solution, where he played John Watson. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1979 version, he was in that as well. Apocalypse Now, Great Santini. Tender Mercies. The Natural, played Max Mercy. He has a big role in that too. Colors. Days of Thunder, The Handmaid's Tale. Ramblin' Rose, Newsies. He was in Newsies. He played Joseph Pulitzer. Falling Down, Wrestling Ernest Hemingway, Geronimo, an American Legend, The Paper, Something to Talk About, The Stars Fall on Henrietta, the terrible Scarlet Letter adaptation, Sling Blade, he was in that as well. Phenomenon, The Apostle, which he also directed. The Gingerbread Man, A Civil Action, Deep Impact, Gone in 60 Seconds, The Sixth Day, John Q, Gods and Generals, where he played General Robert E. Lee, Secondhand Lions, Open Range, Kicking and Screaming, Thank You for Smoking, Four Christmases, The Road, Jack Reacher, the Tom Cruise version, The Judge, Wild Horses. He also directed that also. The Pale Blue Eyes, is that the Netflix one? Yep, The Pale Blue Eyes, the Netflix Christian Bale movie, which Edgar Allan Poe in it. So he was in that. That was the last film he made. Television, let's see, David Major was on Route 66, Naked City, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, The Defenders, The Untouchables, Twilight Zone, The Virginian, The Fugitive, The Outer Limits, The FBI, The Wild Wild West. He played different roles in the FBI. He was like in multiple ones. The Mod Squad. Lonesome Dove was his big one where he was the main role in that. He played Joseph Stalin in a TV movie. I think that was the HBO one. And he was also Broken Trail, which I think was Kevin Costner's, one of his Western TV shows. So a giant in cinema passed away again this week. Going from a giant in cinema to a giant in politics and civil rights, Jesse Jackson also passed away this week as well. He was a political leader, civil rights leader, worked and marched with Martin Luther King Jr., ran for president. I guess in the 80s, I think. Um, was a well-respected civil rights leader and politician. I should say Dr. or Reverend Jesse Jackson was his name, his official title and name. And then finally, here's another actor I got to look up to, Tom Noonan, another character actor, most famous for Frankenstein in the Monster Squad, and was also in Manhunter, the first version of Red Dragon, which was the prequel to Silence of the Lambs, and was also in RoboCop 2. Those are the main ones that they popped up when you look at him. But let's take a look at his film criteria. Heaven's Gate, Wolfen, Easy Money, Best Defense, The Man with One Red Shoe, FX, Manhunter, The Monster Squad, RoboCop 2, The Last Action Hero, Heat. He was Kelso in Heat, so he was in Heat also. The Astronaut's Wife, The Opportunists, The Pledge, Knock Around Guys, Eight-Legged Freaks, Synecdoche, New York. That was really about it. His last movie he did was in 2017 on TV. Typical sort of stuff. X-Files. He did an episode of the X-Files. CSI. Law and Order. Damages. He was in 17 episodes of Damages. Hell on Wheels. He was in 17 episodes of that. He was in 2 episodes of The Blacklist. Was in 18 episodes of the 12 Monkeys series on Sci-Fi. So he did a bunch of stuff. So Tom Noonan was also a good character actor. He passed away this week as well. Well, gotta add that. Add this to the tail end of my story. I'll talk about that later. How true it's going to be, but you know what? I'm still going to deal with it. So that was it for page 1. Over to page 2. Kelly Jenrette joins All the Sinners below. The Gates trailer, March 13th, is James Van Der Beek's last film. James Van Der Beek passed away last week. Talked about that last week. 7-Up Mandarin Orange is a Kroger exclusive coming this summer, which really kind of sucks that it's going to be a Kroger exclusive. But we did get verification that the awesome Shirley Temple flavor that's gone on for the last 2 years will return this holiday season as well. If you have never had the 7-Up Shirley Temple, you got to go out and get it. You might still be able to find some 12-packs somewhere around here, probably the Giant. But definitely right around Thanksgiving, go look for it again, and definitely go for it. It is one of the best new sodas out there. Fanta also has a Crimson Sour Cherry flavor coming soon, which could be very interesting. So, cherry soda everybody's had before, but a sour cherry flavor might be a little bit different. As I said, I was disappointed in the cherry float Pepsi, or Coke rather, which is just the same as the cherry vanilla Coke, just under a different name. So I was disappointed in that. And the wild cherry vanilla Pepsi is also just kind of a generic sort of bleh sort of flavor. They did a new reboot on that as well, and it's the same old shit. First, of many 4K announcements. A lot of really interesting stuff coming out on 4K. Harry and the Hendersons will be getting a 4K version coming soon. And The Walk, which is Robert Zemeckis' great movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is also getting a 4K as well. There's a lot more coming. We'll talk about that down later on the show. Terry Moore, who did Strangers in Paradise, is finally getting his own imprint at Dark Horse. So we might see more Strangers in Paradise stuff. And he's been doing a lot of other stuff as well independently. But now he is being wrapped into the Dark Horse family while still owning his rights, probably. Bad Bunny has been in the news a lot lately. He is joining the cast of Puerto Rico with Viggo Mortensen, Edward Norton, and Javier Bardem. So that's an interesting film and a great cast sounding. So we'll see how that goes. Mike Flanagan's Carrie is set to arrive in October of 2026. See, Mike Flanagan knows what he's doing, though he needs to stop remaking stuff that's already been done and do stuff that hasn't been done yet, like The Dark Tower. Please, let's get on that. Mission Impossible 9. They kind of wrapped it up with 8. Tom Cruise is getting younger, but they got Chloe Zhao directing, and Tom Cruise is returning to star. Well, I guess if you can get blood from a stone, why not? This is fantastic. John Waters, the local niche director who hasn't directed a movie in close to 20 years and does a lot of other niche stuff on the side, will be joining the cast of American Horror Story Season 13, debuting this Halloween. So congratulations to you, John. You all know my John Waters pumpkin stories. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but it's a true story. John Malkovich is set to join Joel Kinnaman on Bishop, an Amazon TV series, streaming series. One Attempt Remaining has got a really decent cast for this Netflix film. Jennifer Garner, John Cena, Kate McKinnon, and Amy Carrero. Night Flirt, Ethan Kutkowski, Luca Padovin, and Elsie Pfister are set to star in that. Score Bunny will be the March Community Day on March 14th, which is a Saturday. Viola Davis is co-authoring a book with James Patterson called Judge Stone. Wastewater around Nantucket Island tests high for cocaine, which means everybody up in Nantucket Island is getting rocked on cocaine and ejecting it through their bowels or throwing it down the toilet if the cops are coming to bust them. We had our first look at the Imperfect Women trailer. Game of Thrones, The Mad King is coming to British theater. A new story set in the Game of Thrones world. We'll be getting a Broadway or a British theater showing, potentially moving to Broadway. Here it is. Kristen Bell has joined the voice cast of Sonic 4. She last did voices for the Frozen movies. A24's peaked cast includes Connor Stone, Jeremy Allen White, Laura Dern, Emma Mackey, Simone Ashley, and Molly Gordon. Assassination Classroom, the anime that has been over and done with for a little while, will be getting a new movie. So my wife and daughter who watched it before, they'll enjoy that. They like that. Oh, that's all the depth to do. Anniversary, Grant Morrison takes over Doom Patrol 37 years ago. Not as big a fan of his Doom Patrol as I was his Animal Man, but still pretty decent story. Constantine with Keanu Reeves debuted 21 years ago this week. Still don't know the status of the sequel. We'll see if that comes around. A lot more deaths this week. Jane Bauer, Disney animator, passed away this week. Neil Dalen, a NFL executive, passed away this week. Mike Wagner, former Steelers defensive back and one of the all-time greats, passed away. Lil Papa, a rapper, died this week as well. Jesus Borino, a voiceover actor, died this week as well. And Dr. Norman C. Franco, lead administrator at Xavier University, first African-American to do it at Xavier, passed away this week as well. Now I can move this over here. The Runner with Gal Gadot has been now set to arrive at Amazon. It was held up for a little while, but is now set to debut soon. I already talked about that. This is kind of interesting. So raspberry tea and lemonade from Snapple will be coming out in July or maybe in June, late June, just in time for America's 250th anniversary. That actually sounds pretty decent. Raspberry iced tea and lemonade sounds absolutely stunning. It's going to have a Statue of Liberty on the bottle. That might be one to look forward to like that. A&W Root Beer Float Soda is also coming in July as well. So we'll see if someone comes up with that. Dinah Washington biopic is coming. Don't know much about her, so I guess I'll have to watch the biopic. Mr. Cast Walton Goggins and Chloe Grace Moritz. So a pretty decent cast there. Leo Woodard joins the cast of Customs of the County with Sydney Sweeney. Peaky Blinders, the Immortal Man trailer debuted this week as well. Check that out if you're a Peaky Blinders fan. Good Omens 3, a one-episode finale, is set for May 13th, 2026 with David Tennant and I forget who the other actor is. They're like best friends and shit. I can't remember his name right now. So yeah, talking about the snow. So it's snowing right now. When they announced the snow last week, all the models were all over the place, including one that said the Baltimore area was going to get up to 30 inches of snow. They said it could be a bomb cyclone. It could be anywhere between 6 to 10 inches, 3 to 6 inches, or nothing in our area. And it was just all over the place. And then like around Friday, they started trying to solidify stuff, but it was still all over the place. The temperature was really warm the last couple of days, so the roads are a little bit warmer. So it was going to start off as a wet rain and snow. It is forming off of the coast, apparently. So it has hurricane millibars and stuff like that. So they're talking it could be a bomb cyclone, which we already had this year. So right now, what everybody, the main one that most of the weather leaving in right now is that the Eastern Shore, Philadelphia, New York, stuff like that are going to get nailed with 22 plus inches of snow. The further inland you come, the less snow you're going to get. They still have us in the 6 to 10 window, or 5 to 10 window. And then out further west to us, it's down to 1 to 3. And out further west, even more in Western Maryland, they're just going to be getting rain through all this. The main event is not supposed to happen till tonight. They're saying that's when that's why they're calling this a blizzard, because when a blizzard is, it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be 30 plus inches of snow. It's a snowstorm with massive winds. So even if it's like 5 inches of snow and the winds are out there blowing the snow around, it'll be called a blizzard. That's what they're kind of aiming for tonight. They believe that the snow, which is probably still falling right now, was falling heavier before I started on the show. The wind will pick up, and the biggest bursts of snow will come overnight tonight. They're also saying it's banded weather, so there'll be periods where we get a bunch of snow, and then it's going to be a break, and then maybe more coming through, and then a break, and then more, and then a break. So no one really has a general idea of how much snow we're going to get. Plus, as I said, the ground is still warm from the warm air we've had over a while and the rain we had. And they're all saying, well, it's temperature's going to drop, and the storm makes its own cold air. It's like, okay, whatever. So they're really trying to push that something big is going to come. So we'll know in about 12, 11, 10 hours when I wake up. God, I'm going to bed in 10 hours. Yeah. Because 12 hours would be 6:30 a.m. I get up at 4:30. So in 10 hours, we'll know what's going on. Some places are allowing betting on traffic using traffic cameras. So someone posted that as well. That's stupid. U.S. women and men's hockey team win the gold medals against Canada. This is the first gold medal for the men's hockey team since 1980, which was the miracle season. The Mummy Returns with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz and John Hannah is set to re-release in theaters on March 27th for the 25th anniversary. Haley Atwell and Tom Hiddleston have been doing Much Ado About Nothing on the English theater stages. It's been so successful that they are shifting the play to Broadway, with the two actors returning for the roles. Today, February 22nd, is considered Japanese Cat Day. It's their International Cat Day, where the Japanese celebrate cats of all kinds. Speaking of cats, a new anime about a dragon raised by cats is coming in July 2026, called The Cat and the Dragon. Eddie Redmayne is set to star in a film from director Hirokazu Korida. Remarkably Bright Creatures adaptation is coming to Netflix on May 26th with Sally Field. Baby giraffe named Eugene is born in Toledo Zoo with a big, massive tuft of black hair, which looks like a toupee. Ava Marcille and Tyler Lepley are set to star in a Lifetime film, Pushed Off a Plane and Survived, which is a great name for a movie, isn't it? Tells you everything you need to know about it. And Adam Wingard has departed directing Face Off 2. I think I'm going to go off on a tangent here again. So Warner Brothers is trying to sell its studio. It had two suitors, Netflix and Paramount. Everybody was freaking out about Netflix because they said if Netflix wins, they're never going to release the movies into movie theaters because they don't release their movies into movie theaters like Frankenstein and Wake Up Dead Man and all that stuff. I went on a rant a few weeks ago, or probably about a month ago when this first came up, stating that they will never release original movies in theaters for very long, no matter how much people want them, because that's the whole point of them making the original movies, because they want them to only be seen on Netflix and not in the movie theater. So you have to get a Netflix account to see the movie. So everyone's like, well, I really want to see the movie, but I don't want to pay for Netflix. Well, tough shit. Tough shit. It's up to Netflix to do. But we should get a physical copy too. Sure, that'd be great, but they don't have to. It's an original film. You know who else doesn't do stuff? Apple TV doesn't do that shit. They don't release their stuff. They release their movies very briefly as well, but they like Killers of the Flower Moon. Was released in theaters for a week, and there's been no physical media out there. Prey, which was a Hulu film, did not get a physical release for like 4 years. These streaming services do these original movies and shows so that you have to join their streaming service to watch them. Every one of them does it, but everyone just started jumping on Netflix when everyone does it. So I went off on my tangent about that. Warner Brothers eventually came back and said they want to go with Netflix. So I was happy about that because Paramount is run by a fascist dictator who's running our country right now. He might not officially be in charge of it, but he put the people who are running those studios into place. And all the people complaining that no, that's the end of cinema now because Netflix is never going to show them in movie theaters. Warner Brothers made a dumb mistake. Why did they do this? They fucked up my life. They didn't fuck up your life. You're just a whiny little bitch. And they're saving us from fascism because if Paramount got control of it, they would now be under control of the fascists. They already have control over so much other stuff right now that another one on top of that is going to be even crazier. And yet you guys are not complaining that, you wanted Paramount to buy it, but now you're saying, well, Netflix shouldn't buy it because, you shouldn't have one studio have all the stuff. What do you think Paramount's doing? And you also guarantee you this too. You all love Sinners, a movie made up completely of African-American actors under the control of the fascist, racist piece of shit who is telling the owners of Paramount what to do. You're never going to see that because he's a racist piece of shit. You're never going to see a African-American led movie theater through Warner Brothers ever. They're also, and you guys forgot also, they're the ones that shut down Stephen Colbert. You were bitching and moaning about that. But now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we don't want Netflix to have it. It's going to ruin our lives. Paramount already fucking ruined your lives. You've already talked about it. And you didn't, and you don't want the fascists to take control of it. Netflix is fine. I told you what's going on about that. And then Netflix even come out and said, we're still going to put Warner Bros. Movies in movie theaters. You have nothing to worry about. We're just going to reduce the total of 45 days in movie theaters down to like 30, which is fine because that gives you a chance to put different movies in the movie theater. And then it's going to go right to streaming. You have 30 fucking days to see a movie. Most people go see it opening weekend. Oh, but I can't always go opening weekend. It's 30 fucking days. That's almost a whole month. Jesus Christ. You're just bitching and moaning because you don't like Netflix for whatever reason. They don't need to show their original films in movie theaters because that's how they get people on their streaming service. That's how they make their fucking money. And now you're like, oh, we want Paramount to take it over. No, you fucking don't, because the fascists will own everything and turn this
Well, CNN is owned by Warner Brothers. That means that the fascists will own all of our media. You fucking morons. Open up your fucking eyes. So when Warner Brothers said, we'll go with Netflix, I was like, great, that's great. But then Paramount, because they're run by fascist, rapist assholes, kept saying, no, you're coming with us. They did not take no for an answer, as if, a woman, they said, we want to have sex with you. The woman says no. It's like, well, we want to have sex with you. No, we want to have sex with you. No, that's what they're doing with Warner Brothers. We want to buy you. No, we want to buy you. No, we want to buy you. No, they're saying no. Get the fuck off, you rapist piece of shit. So now they've set March 20th for the date of the vote. Now, the good news looks as though Warner Brothers are not taking too kindly to the fact that Paramount is pushing them as much as they are, and also that it's run by a fascist dictator. Plus, they also know that as soon as Paramount gets them, they're going to lose their fucking jobs, whereas Netflix is going to try to work out a deal to keep as many people on as they can. But you don't see all that. You just see, Netflix didn't show Frankenstein in the movie theater, so they're going to fuck up movie theaters. And I've seen that from lots of different people, movie people, stuff like that. And then James fucking Cameron, the fucking douchebag anyway, comes out and says, yeah, you should sell to Paramount because Netflix is going to kill us. Sure, James Cameron, you Canadian piece of shit. Why don't you just let the fascists take over our media? Yes, we're sorry about trying to call Canada the 51st state. That wasn't our doing. That was a fucking moron's job. Don't you remember? He was the one who's trying to turn you into a United States state. And yet you want him to take over our media because, there might be some problem with the movie theaters. Fuck you, James Cameron, you piece of shit. And then Christopher Nolan, who I usually like, is all like, no, we can't have that either. We need to let the movies be in movie theaters. It's going to be in fucking movie theaters, just not for as long as a time period. And look ahead, look to the future a little bit. If a movie is taking over screens for 45 fucking days, what about all these other smaller films that you keep bitching and moaning doesn't get the audience? If you have 15 less days of these big time movies in the movie theaters, these smaller movies can last and breathe a little bit longer and find their visions and find their audience. What the fuck is wrong with you people? So March 20th is the date we got to circle. It's about a month or so away from now. And as I said, Warner Bros. Keeps saying no, and Paramount keeps forcing themselves on them. It's a little off-putting. And then you morons, you film enthusiasts, are claiming that Netflix is going to ruin everything. All the streamers fucking do this. Take a look out of your window. Why do you hate Netflix so much? Just fuck right off. Jesus Christ. To clear the air a little bit, a man comes into possession of 66 tons of chocolate. No idea how that happened. 66 tons is not a small amount. So that's fucked up. Guess I got to do this now. The BAFTA awards were earlier this evening. It's like 4 to 6 hour difference over in England. So they've already done the BAFTAs. So we've already got the awards. So let's see who actually won the BAFTAs here. Let me delete this and delete this. Okay, type in BAFTA. All right. All right. The BAFTAs are the British Film Awards. It's the British Academy Awards. Come on, give us the list. All right. Best film, One Planet, One Battle After Another. Looks like that's going to be going into the Oscars. Leading actress, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. She's British. It's a British film. I don't know if that's going to bleed over to us, possibly. Leading actor, this was a surprise, Robert Aramayo for Swear. Again, it's the British Academy Awards, so they're going to go with more foreign people probably. Director, One Battle for Another, Paul Thomas Anderson. He's been winning everything. Looks like that Sinners is going to get really shut out, looks like. Rising Star Award, voted for by the public, Robert Aramayo, who just won for Best Actor. So, okay. Outstanding British Film, Hamnet. That makes sense with Chloe Zhao. Film not in the English language. Sentimental Value seems to be the favorite in that one as well. Costume design, Frankenstein. Adapted screenplay, One Battle After Another. Original score, Sinners, Ludwig Göransson. Sound, F1, Won the sound. Cinematography, One Battle After Another. Animated film, Zootopia 2. Really? All right. Well, it's because K-Pop Demon Hunters wasn't nominated. Editing, One Battle After Another. Casting, I Swear. Outstanding debut by a British writer, director, producer, My Father's Shadow. Original screenplay, Sinners, Ryan Coogler. British short animation, Two Black Boys in Paradise. British short film, this is Endometriosis. Actually, is a great name. I think I might pick that one. In the U.S. Documentary, Mr. Nobody Against Putin is a good one, but I think The Perfect Neighbor is going to win in America. Makeup and hair, Frankenstein. Production design, Frankenstein. Children's and family film, Boong. Supporting actor, Sean Penn, One Battle for Another. Supporting actress, Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners. Special visual effects, Avatar, Fire and Ash. Blech. It does everything. So there's your BAFTAs. Again, it's British, so it doesn't really... A lot of it is going to be similar, and you got to weigh certain things. This is really hard because right now it looks like in the Academy Awards between Sinners and One Battle for Another. One Battle for Another seems like it's taking the lead, which is a really big shame. But and I'm almost thinking about going with that one just because we know Oscar So White is still a thing probably. So a definitive Native African American film is probably not going to win a lot of awards with a bunch of white people doing the voting for it because white people are stupid. It'll probably win a couple of awards, but ain't going to win nearly as many as at once. That's what seems to be the case. But the Academy Awards have this way of exceeding expectations, so it's going to making my picks really, really hard. Less than a month now before the Oscars. So I got to start thinking about that. All right. Deaths. Bill Mazeroski, a Pittsburgh Pirates legend, passed away at the age of 89. Ronnie L. Whitaker, an NFL player, died at the age of 46. Eric Dane, he's another big guy, actor. McSteamy, Euphoria, was 53 years old, died from the ALS. And the only anniversary on this page, Pluto was discovered 96 years ago this week. Woman charged with sneaking behind Wendy's in Somerset, Massachusetts, and feeding raccoons and calling them her baby. She even has named one Travis. She was arrested for public nuisance. I was like, I don't understand why feeding raccoons is a public nuisance. Whatever. Mads Mikkelsen is set to join the Martin Scorsese film What Happens at Night with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. October from A24 is a fugitive thriller set during Halloween. Corey Michael Smith, Imogen Poots, Sophie Wilson, and Shane Sweet Wonders starring in it. Scientists discover a new dinosaur species deep in the Saharan desert. It's always interesting to find those. Hey, Florida man's back. Florida man arrested for attempting to baptize an alligator in a Waffle House using a pitcher of iced tea. That's a hell of a headline there, Florida man. You just keep upping the ante now, don't you? In Vertigo is a weird name for a film, and it's an even weirder premise. Traps actress Inde Narita on a roller coaster. So the whole film is going to be her trapped on a roller coaster for an hour and a half. Wonderful. A Venom animated film, rated R, is in the works with Tom Hardy possibly reprising his role. For all you creepers out there, Alexandra Daddario has split from her husband, so all you guys now think that you have a way to weigh in now to start dating the sexy actress. Go for it, man. Hey, I was talking about her earlier, McKenna Grace, Shirley Chen, and Maitreyi Rama Krishnan are starring in Slanted. Grant Gustin, Campbell Scott, Rainey Qualley, which I guess is the other Annie McDowell's other daughter, Elias Codius are all set to star in God of Tides from Cruz Angeles. A Star Trek Fortnite collaboration potentially in the works, maybe. Speed Racer will be getting the live action Speed Racer, which I absolutely raved about last July. Will be getting a 4K treatment, so I might have to pick that up now because that would be another movie that would definitely be best viewed in 4D or 4K. Excuse me. Is Star Fox in Super Mario Universe movie? There is someone who took a still from the new trailer that came out. You don't really get to see him that well, but it has a very similar profile to Star Fox, the famous animated video game character, could potentially be in it. Is God Is, trailer set to come out May 15th. Dino is a new adult animated show from Bluey's creator. February 25th, which is in 3 days, Scrubs, the rebooted Scrubs will debut, and Neil Flynn, Kristen Miller, and Rachel Bilson are all set to star to reprise their roles and appear as guest stars. Anne-Lee Bogan joins Emily Deschanel's NBC drama. February 27th, 5 days from now, Pokemon Fire Red version and Pokemon Leaf Green version will be showing up on the Nintendo Switch. I guess they are new revamped versions of Red and Green Pokemon. Fubi Diner is set to lead the adaptation of Beach Read, a new movie set to come out soon. Preseason baseball started. The Baltimore Orioles won their first game against the Yankees. Don't know how they did their second game. Last night, I did my LA Fever Dream movie trilogy. I did it chronologically in the orders not only of when they were released, but also what years takes place in. The first movie in my trilogy was the fantastic 1988 Robert Zemeckis film, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, set in 1930s Los Angeles, and it's a fever dream because you have humans interacting with cartoons as if it's nothing. Great fucking movie, always has been a great fucking movie. Never wavered from it. One of my favorites of all time. Second up was LA Story, the Steve Martin, Victoria Tennant, Richard E. Grant, Sarah Jessica Parker film, rom-com, came out in 1991 or 1990 or 1991. I think it was 1991 actually. Came out in 1991 and is written by Steve Martin and directed by Mick Jackson, who directs the shit out of the movie. It's fantastic. And Steve Martin's script is very bizarre. The storyline is very bizarre. It is a love letter to Los Angeles, and Steve Martin fills the film with cameos from his buddies. We've got Patrick Stewart, Chevy Chase, Kevin Pollak, Rick Moranis, Woody Harrelson. Can't think of anyone else right at the top of my head right now. I think Terry Jones was the voice of Victoria Tennant's mother. So it's a really interesting rom-com that has a lot of Enya music in it, which is actually crazy. It's very spiritual and has a great setup where a roadside sign helps Steve Martin with his love life. That's all you need to know. That's the love line. Mary Lou Henner's in it as well. So great movie. And then that was set in, I said, 1990, 1991 window. And then I finished it off with David Lynch's Mulholland Drive with Naomi Watts. That came out in 2001, I believe. So I think it's set in an unknown time. They still have dial phones. They still have them, I guess, in 2001 as well. And that's a really fucked up fever dream. But it's been almost 10, 15 years, maybe 10 years. I think it was a scout thing when they were out when I saw it. Since it's been 15 years at least, 10 to 15 years since I've seen it. And it was good to revisit it again. There's one sequence that I remember when I saw it before that I did not see in the movie, but I saw the other ones that I remember. Maybe I wasn't looking in the proper spot because she does have the one scene where she gets in there. Anyway, I kind of figured it out a little bit. David Lynch has gone on record saying that he just wants people to interpret it as they see fit. There's no right or wrong answer to it. So after watching it again with open eyes and reading some of the commentary on it, I have to agree with the whole movie as a dream aspect of it. And there's just a lot that makes me believe that. So there we go. So that's my LA Fever Dream trilogy. Anniversaries. Old School debuted 23 years ago this week. What's Up Doc debuted 54 years ago this week. Eurotrip debuted 21 years ago this week. Deaths, Masaru Akado, Gundam star, died at the age of 83. Strat Marmaru, dead at 92. He was a former Pennsylvania councilman, but I remember Strat. He was a security guard at Albright College in 1991 through 95 when I was going to school there. I remember Strat. And a lot of people from my class remember him also. That's how I found out about this. So he passed away this week at the age of 92. Willie Colon, a salsa music director, died at 75. And Rondell Moore, a current Minnesota Viking player, passed away at the age of 25, which is a damn shame. Found dead in his garage. Nobody really quite knows why. I don't know if they found him as being suicidal or whatever. I'm not sure. But here we are. Yeah, here we are. We've got 3 pages basically still to go. Anne Skelly and Rory Kinnear are set to join the Killing Eve prequel for BBC. May 29th, Pressure will be coming out in movie theaters. We get our first trailer for it. Stars Brendan Fraser as General Eisenhower during his preparations for D-Day. Also stars Andrew Scott, Kerry Condon, and Damian Lewis. Looks like a decent, based on a true story, World War II film about D-Day. I just finished reading Brad Metzler's The Nazi Conspiracy, which was a really good book about the end of the war for the most part, leading up to D-Day. And they throw in the assassination attempt that could have happened in Tehran. Pretty decent. So actually I'm not going to do a review of it, but let me just, I just remembered I got to do this before. Not now. My books. See all. Update progress. I finished the book. 5 stars. And that's it. Back to work here. So I got that in the system, so that's good. New behind-the-scenes look at Sophie Turner as Lara Croft still looks good. Still excited for it. Rosario Dawson and Tiffany Haddish are set to team up for The Lesson. It's a horror thriller. Doctor Who American reboot is set to get a new edition, updated remastered edition. He was the eighth Doctor. He was the eighth Doctor. Was only seen in a 2-hour show on Fox. They were trying to bring Doctor Who to America, and they connected it to the rest of the Doctor Who saga. It only lasted the 1-2 hour thing and didn't take off into a regular series. But the British did not forget about the character. They did a bunch of audio things with him. They did novels with him and comic books. So it's kind of cool that they kept it up. Shamar Moore and Vivica Fox will be reprising their roles on The Young and the Restless, which they haven't been on since 1995, 31 years ago. They'll be doing a pretty decent size story arc for their characters, so good for them. Absolute Green Arrow will be coming out from DC Comics as a 6-issue miniseries, and the first look at it appears to be that the Absolute Green Arrow is a serial killer. He goes around and he kills, tortures people who deserve it, but it's still someone who does that sort of stuff. It is not the Oliver Queen, because he was already killed in an Absolute Power crossover. Doom Oreos are set to come out here soon. It's supposedly very s'mores flavory tasting, but the cream sort of changes color. Should be seeing some of them beginning of March, so we'll get those and we'll talk about that. Banana might be coming the fruit of the year, because there's a banana Slurpee coming out on 7-Eleven and a banana Savannah Bananas Dairy Queen shake coming out. That's with connection to the Savannah Bananas. The grandson of Reese's formally admonishes Hershey Company for replacing the candy's iconic ingredients. They're using cheaper ingredients and not making them as good as they were back in the old days. Ari Grainer and Sandra Bernhard, Dylan Ennis have all joined the White Lotus season 4. Family of Bears run across a ski slope while it was open, so that's kind of cool. Bill Hader is set to write, star in, and direct his first movie, a horror thriller called They Know. Wednesday season 3 has started filming as well, apparently. William Shatner will be doing a heavy metal album. No shit. A Betty Boop slasher film called Betty's Revenge is coming soon. I'm getting sick and tired of these as well. Toy Story 5 trailer. We got to see that. It comes out on June 19th. It's going to be toys versus technology, and Woody returns for the friends, and he's balding because he's wearing the hat and the paint is scraping away. So they give him a bald thing. It looks decent. Devin Sawa set to join Disney's Coven Academy as a teacher. Jay and Silent Bob team up with the Marvel Universe in a one-shot written by Kevin Smith with art by Giuseppe Canicoli. Paul Chadwick's Concrete returns in a new 5-issue miniseries at Dark Horse. The Chicago Bears are moving away from Chicago to Indiana to a new stadium. Fight Club is set to get a 4K treatment and be re-released in theaters on April 22nd. Fortnite and Game of Thrones collaboration could be in the works. Normal trailer with Steve Odenkirk. The movie debuts April 17th. I was watching. I got very Hot Fuzz vibes from it, though it's more of an action film than Hot Fuzz was. Bob Odenkirk plays a sheriff in a small town where Henry Winkler is the mayor, and he deals with all kinds of problems and stuff like that. And it appears like the whole town is like armed and stuff like that. It just reminds me of Hot Fuzz. Jury Duty season 2 sets their cast, full bunch of bright-eyed comedians. It's all going to be done. I think it's done by Improv. Ming-Na Wen has been cast as Hera. Jennifer Beals has been cast as Demeter, and Hubert Smieli has been cast as Apollo in Percy Jackson season 3. Coleman Domingo joins Kerry Washington in An Innocent Girl on Netflix. March 20th, 2020. I did that already. Duncan Hines has a Charlie Brown cookie cupcake crossover. Includes Snoopy Crumble Cookie, Snoopy Skate Yellow Cupcakes, Charlie Brownie, a blonde brownie mix, and Peppermint Patty, peppermint and chocolate brownie mix as well, set to come out. Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are set to fight each other on Netflix on May 16th. Shia LaBeouf was arrested during Mardi Gras in New Orleans for public intoxication. Crystal Lake aims for a December debut on Peacock. Bleeding Hearts 1 is the first new comic from the returning Vertigo line from DC. And Everybody Kirks, Michael Stipe returns, writes, and sings a Simpsons song based on Everybody Hurts. Local news, Jason La Canfora has been fired from the Fan. 105.7 was an absolute awful pick to do sports radio for years now. I haven't listened to 105.7 in years because he's so fucking annoyed me so much. And Ken Wyman, who is the co-host of it, just absolutely like slobbered on his knob the whole time, which was absolutely stupid. So hopefully that'll go away and maybe I can re-listen to it. I don't know. Something personally weird that happened. I'm a numbers guy. I like when number things happen. Last week, on the same day, I got gas for $30.03, so 30.03. Then a few hours later, I went and got groceries. The total there was on the same day was $48.48. And then today, I nailed a little bit of grocery shopping before I went. Before the snow started coming down really hard. $128 even. So I like all that kind of weird stuff as well. Anniversaries. Dark Knight Returns, the comic, debuted 40 years ago this week. I think I talked about that last week. The Phantom cartoon strip debuted 90 years ago this week, but written and drawn by Lee Falk. The Burbs debuted 37 years ago this week. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure debuted also 37 years ago this week. So it came out the same time as The Burbs. Office Space debuted 27 years ago this week. Shutter Island debuted 16 years ago this week. And the original Swamp Thing movie, directed by Wes Craven, came out 44 years ago this week. That was one of Wes Craven's first movies also. Deaths, we have Davis Patrick Dave Draper, a something guy. I couldn't tell you who that is. Hockey guy, I think. Doug Moe, former NBA player and coach, passed away. Cass LaSalle, reality star from Grand Cayman, Secrets in Paradise, passed away as well. Dana Eden, producer and co-creator of Tehran, died at the age of 52, same age as I am. I feel like I'm missing somebody, but I don't think I am. Okay. Here. A page and a half left, and then we'll be done. So I'll probably be done by close to about 7:30, probably. For them, The Assassin has been renewed for a second season on Prime. I already talked about that. I'll talk about that in a second. Pharaoh Wunatai, Oliver Edis, and Annabelle Wolf have been set as regulars in the new Netflix series Breakers. Gray Man 2 is in development at Amazon with Gyllenhaal, I think, coming. Not Gyllenhaal. Yeah, or is it Ryan? It's either Ryan or Gyllenhaal. One of those two guys coming in there. Kung Fu Robots perform at a spring festival in Beijing, China. Italy's famous Lover's Arch collapsed on Valentine's Day. Ironic. Watch You trailer. I did not watch You trailer, but it's there. Watch You trailer for that. One Piece fans are trying to get One Piece, the live action series, to cast Adam Sandler as the character of Kizaru for a new season coming up. They've already succeeded and got fan casting for another character coming next season. Cooking Battle manga, Iron Walk John, which I remember when I was working at Diamond, I used to bring home to Dawn to read all the time. We'll be getting an anime finally. What Dreams May Come, the wonderfully depressing, visually stunning Robin Williams trip through the underworlds. We'll be getting a 4K release. That's another one that might be brilliant on 4K with all the color stuff like that. How's this for a cast? Billy Zane, Tyrese Gibson, Jake Busey, and Armie Hammer are set to work at Mascot Land. Texas woman was arrested after renting an escape room and making her ex solve puzzles of accountability on Valentine's Day. Guess sort of kidnapped him and threw him in there. That's why she got arrested. Tank Girl reboot is coming. Live action reboot is coming. That could be interesting. The Lori Petty movie is definitely a fever dream also. Might be interesting to see how they do it, update it now, 30 some years later. All right, talked about that. Johnny Knoxville has been cast in Night Sessions, and Jason Fleming has been cast in Fractal. Ninja Kaiju from Franco is coming out here soon. It's an animated graphic novel. Ted Bunny trailer comes out. It's one of these another stupid slasher films. Yes, it's a play on Ted Bundy. Stupid people. All right, so I got stupid person and so the convict in charge and his MAGA movement absolutely lost their shit when Bad Bunny was named as the halftime show's halftime performer. It broke records for ratings and stuff like that, and their shitty, opposite concert did jack shit, did less than the Puppy Bowl. But because the convict just always has to kowtow to his moron, idiotic, stupid, racist piece of shit followers, he had the FCC investigate Bad Bunny to see if they did anything illegal on his halftime show. And the FCC came back and said, dude, really? Fuck you. We did our research. They did nothing wrong. So the FCC has cleared Bad Bunny. So fuck you, convict, you dickhead. And these are the type of people that vote for Donald Trump. 22-year-old woman gets a nose job so that her future kids will not inherit her old ugly nose, but get her new pretty nose. This is why we are where we are. Stupid fucking people. Genetically, you were born with your ugly fucking nose, as you say it was, and you got it fixed. Your kids are going to get your genetic ugly fucking nose. There is no way that a nose job was done is going to change the DNA in your children to be. Don't have children. Okay? They're going to have the ugly noses. I'm telling you that right now. Just don't have children. It seems a little harsh, but you're a stupid motherfucker, and you probably voted for that moron. Probably it's your first time ever voting because you're stupid. A lot of deaths on this line, so we'll do the anniversaries first. Footloose debuted 42 years ago this week. Sweet November, the first Charlize Theron, Keanu Reeves partnership, debuted 25 years ago this week. Nightbreed debuted 36 years ago this week. Ghost Rider debuted 19 years ago this week. Happy Gilmore debuted 30 years ago this week. Red Dwarf debuted 38 years ago this week. And 11/22/63 debuted 10 years ago this week. Deaths: Angel Ruben Rodriguez, an NFL player, passed away. Dwight Bo Lamar, a basketball player, passed away. Shitiro Lidor, Castlevania, and Metal Gear Solid 5 developer died. Hidechi Saito, a Sega designer and creator, died as well. Frederick Wiseman, a documentary legend, passed away at the age of 96. Kurt Van Dyke, American surf star, was killed in a burglary. Billy Steinberg, a songwriter who wrote Like a Virgin, True Colors, Alone, and Eternal Flame, passed away this week as well. All right, we're on our final run here. We'll finish up probably in about 10 minutes maybe, and then I will get my dinner done. The Olympics are finally over. Again, I put out the same question I did last time. Does anyone even care about the Olympics anymore? Not it's not a bad thing if you do. That's cool, but I just don't see it anymore. Michael Jordan's team won the Daytona 500. Apparently owns a NASCAR group now. The writer of The Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins, is writing a new novel that's going to be based on Finnick Odair. Nicolas Cage reteams with John Woo for Gambino, a crime thriller. These two will combine. Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay Biscuit Bites are now out in stores. Women in Berlin can now swim topless. Yes. Fallout Season 3 starts filming May 1st. Citizen Kane and The Maltese Falcon, two American classic films, are both getting the 4K treatment, and both will be re-released in movie theaters for their respective 85th anniversaries, both of which are this year. Maltese Falcon is one of those films I watched with my dad when it was just me and my dad. It's only been a couple movies like that Midnight Run and Every Which Way You Can, Any Which Way But Loose are the other movies that we are the only ones, just two of us watch those. So we have a little connection with my dad on that one. And Citizen Kane is still one of the best directed films of all time by Orson Welles. Scream 8 is in development for 2027. We'll see if that actually happens. But they just can't kill the franchise anymore. They just have to keep it going. Harry Potter Butterbeer Fudge Stripe cookies are now back in stores. Apparently there was some out there before. I guess it was a Walmart thing. I never saw them in my regular grocery store, but these are in Walmart now. Fist of the North Star reboot of the famous manga / anime is in the works right now. And Fortnite and Buffy the Vampire Slayer are now also set to have a collab too. That was the one I saw about an hour ago when I was looking at my, not an hour, but about half hour ago when I was looking at my phone, and I said, I got to write this down. Before I do my final two stories of the week, Anniversary is Nothing But Trouble, considered to be one of the worst movies of all time. It's celebrating its 35th anniversary. Super Troopers debuted 25 years ago this week. 51st Dates debuted 22 years ago this week. The Breakfast Club debuted 41 years ago this week, as did Vision Quest. Vision Quest debuted 41 years ago this week. Deaths, Edward Stanton Trey Johnson, a former Washington Redskins player, passed away this week. That's it for deaths. So the final two stories. The first one was Stanley Kubrick killed because of Eyes Wide Shut. For those who haven't seen Eyes Wide Shut, which is Stanley Kubrick's last film, it took him 2 years to make with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman because he's insane. Not Tom Cruise, Stanley Kubrick is. But the storyline is about a guy who discovers a sex cult and wants to get involved with it, but it deals with potentially Epstein Island-esque sort of stylings. And a lot of people believe that he died very soon after the making of this, now with all the Epstein file stuff coming out and all the horrible, terrible stuff we've been hearing about what's going on there. Because actually I think what happens at the end of Eyes Wide Shut is they sell their daughter to this sex club for them to do whatever they want to her, which is fucked up anyway, but that's besides, that's why I don't want to watch this movie. But they believe that it was him trying to talk about the Epstein stuff, because the movie came out in 1999. The Epstein stuff's been going on since the early 90s, maybe even the late 80s. So that's the newest thing, but the biggest rabbit hole I followed this week, the world resets every Tuesday at 4:12 a.m. And the weird thing is, after I read this, it actually seemed like something weird did happen at 4:12 a.m. on Tuesday, because that's about what time I wake myself up, even though I don't get up till 4:30 during the week. But this guy went on this TikTok talking about how he believes that, the world just resets at 4:12 a.m. every Tuesday. I don't really, it was earlier this week, so I couldn't tell you. I couldn't remember the whole logistics of it, but I just remembered that there is something out there that the whole world resets at 4:12 a.m. on Tuesday. I thought it was every day, but it was only Tuesdays apparently. So I will keep an eye on that. It just leads me to believe there was the weird thing that happens is that when I go to bed and I'm sleeping on my pillow,
with my head, my ear on the pillow and stuff like that, not with my head back like this, but when I'm actually down on the side like this. I hear something that sounds like an oxygen machine. It goes, but then I lift my head up, and when I'm lying on my back, I don't hear it. So I don't know if my neighbors have someone who is on oxygen, but I don't hear it all the time. I hear it as I get ready to go to bed, and then I fall asleep, and then in the morning, I don't hear it. So I don't know if maybe my neighbors or someone on oxygen or what, but it's just the weirdest. It sounds like an oxygen machine. So that's kind of a weird thing for me, but I'm not saying anything about that. That's up there with gravity is going to go away for 7 seconds in August. We'll have to keep that up in mind, see if that actually does happen. I've been seeing more of those TikToks lately. All right, that's it for this week. Next week, as I said, I will be seeing the Back to the Future musical with my daughter. My wife will have a lock-in Saturday night to Sunday. My son has his blue and gold dinner, but he'll be back in the evening, and it's a matinee, so it's at 2 o'clock. Let's just say it's roughly about 3 hours. And then I got to take my daughter back. We got to get out of we got to get out. It takes about an hour to get back to her because it takes forever to get out of the parking lot. Take about an hour to 40 minutes to get her back to UMBC. And then another 30 minutes up there. So it's another 2 hours after that. So it would be about 7 o'clock. I would be home by then. So we'll see what happens. And then we'll have the aftermath of this fucking snow. So we'll see what that's all about and see if there's anything else. Just seems so let's see if there's anything going on. Nope. Any last minute stuff? Okay, let's go. The Oreo filled Easter bunny and the Jif peanut butter filled Easter bunnies are the chocolate bunnies are coming soon. Oreo and Jif filled chocolate bunnies will be coming soon. So I just saw that real quick. So let me just see if there's anything else on here. The final medal count, Norway had 41, United States had 33, Netherlands had 20, Italy had 30, Germany had 26, France had 23, Sweden had 18. Don't know who that is. Had 23. Austria had 18. Japan had 24. Norway led with 18 gold. The United States had 12 gold. All right. The Olympics are officially over. Thank heavens for that. Broadway shuts down as blizzard hits New York. Yep. All right. It's been official. All BCPS schools will transition to virtual learning on Monday. All right. That is it. That's all I'm going to show right now. We'll get the rest of the stuff later in the week. See ya. Time for dinner.